Welcome everybody back to Boost Motion, guys. And today I'm gonna talk about it, right? I love cars. I really love cars, but I knew it. I said it before. Why didn't Lexus put its twin turbo six-cylinder motor in the IS500? Well, guess what, guys? Let's talk about it because they decided to actually give us that, but not really. Guys, let's jump into it. Welcome everybody back to Boost Motion, guys. And good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. Welcome everybody back. Welcome everybody back to the channel. First thing, shout out to my Boost Motion family. I know you guys have already hit the like button. Thank you, and I really appreciate you guys' support. And if you're new to the Boost Motion channel, I am Boost Motion. I do report the news. I am an automotive enthusiast, and I like talking about this nonsense. Let's jump right into it. Listen, guys. So you guys already know that I'm a Nissan Infiniti enthusiast, but I'm dabbling into other cars. This channel will continue to grow, and I will own other vehicles as I continue to grow. But one of the things that you guys asked me the most about was this Boost. What do you think about that new IS500 that's coming out? And I said, I like it, but they're moving backwards. Majority of cars that are made now come with some kind of turbo vehicle, turbo engine, and all-wheel drive. And they're pretty much kind of going backwards. This car should have been made somewhere in the early 20 teens or mid teens, kind of right a little bit after the ISF, but they chose to not do this. Well, they did it now. Anyways, so at the SEMA show, Lexus decided to make usually if you guys know SEMA, usually SEMA is where the car manufacturers and I would say high performance shops just throw money at cars to just try to see what kind of works, what looks good, and just bring a brand attention, right? And they decided to make an IS600. Now, the IS600, 600 means 600 horsepower, right? And you guys are sitting there saying, well, 600 horsepower V8 then because they have the IS500. No, that's not what they did here. No, not at all. This is what they chose to do. So, they said since its release in 2013, IS has been its third generation, has a significant redesign in 2020. This is when they made the IS 500, right? Well, at least recently within the last year. So let's fast forward a little bit because I don't need to go through none of this stuff because it just makes me so upset because it's like it's something that what we want. So Lexus showcased a prototype version of its IS sedan, one of its best-selling models, at this year's SEMA. If you guys don't know what SEMA actually means, Specialty Equipment Market Association show in Las Vegas, and it had 600 horsepower, demonstrated its IS capability. Let's move forward. The Lexus D Sport, or whatever they want to call it, is 600 engine swap for more horses. Take a look. They got a little K&N intakes there. The Lexus I is a DC Sport, increases output of a standard IS350 F350 for nearly 600 horsepower, claiming the model's title. In order to replace the stock 2GR FKS 3.5 let's just leave it a naturally aspirated V6. They swapped in the V35A V6 from the company, fueled by two billet compressor wheel turbos. It is what drives a new Lexus. There is no hybrid or electronic powertrain used this time. Now, the Lexus LS500, this is where the new turbo V6 comes in. They haven't put it in the IS. I don't know why they wouldn't put this unit in the IS or an all-wheel drive system, but they chose not to do so. They explored to build this one. It uses CT28 turbos, have higher boost outputs in order to reduce the intake temperatures and boost power, which has port and dual fuel injection and is crammed into an IS body. That's actually pretty dope. I don't know if that motor, in Lexus guys that are watching, if that car actually comes with port and direct and DI injection, that's pretty dope. That motor might be really so fire that we don't even really know about it. For anyone else who's watching, pretty much direct injection is when the fuel is actually sprayed within the combustion bay, and port is it's sprayed within before the intake valves. So if it has both systems, that means that this car it has enough fueling if you ever want to turn up the boost and add larger turbos. Super dope. The increased power output was significantly greater than the factory engine and more than 600 horsepower. Lexus accomplished this by boosting the C28 turbo's boost levels and running E85 fuel. However, the engine is only a small part of what makes this design unique. A full sequential six-speed gearbox aids is getting this power down to the ground due to the integration of Emitron, pretty much ECU management, and the driver can adjust gears using shifter on the steering wheel. Do you just hear that? The driver can adjust gears using the shifters on the steering wheel. Isn't that super dope? Because it's a sequential. Also, this IS600 has weight reduction. I'm not gonna go too deeply into it. It has a 4-point roll cage because they designed it for the track performance. The occupants are not only safe, blah blah blah. It also have KW suspension. It also have a carbon ceramic brake kit, and they compose a bonnet and trunk of carbon fiber to minimize the weight. As part of its sport aspiration, the cabin also receives sparkle seats, harnesses, rear seats removed, reduce weight. Pretty much, this is a tracked out IS, guys. It's completely tracked out. Also, it is a performance sedan. It may nevertheless undergo uh, severe modification, which is what Lexus did in cooperation for SEMA 2022. And there's not much more else I really want to talk about. The IS complements of all the racing components and 600 horse boats under the hood. It also has a artisan spirits wide body package, which is super dope. It has Volk wheels, and it's running 305s in the rear and 275s in the front. So, guys, see if we click on the picture. Let's go back to the picture of this car. First thing, I'm not really a fan of those 5-spoke Volk wheels. Just they look nice. I would rather those than 6 to 7-spoke Volk wheels. Just my honest personal opinion. But guys that are watching, I know you guys own Q50s, M3D, M340s, even the new Acura. Even though the new Acura has a 6-cylinder, a single turbo motor, right? And Lexus was supposed to make something around that to compete. And their general engineer said, their CEO says, we're going to continue to make fun cars. This is the Toyota engineer. And they thought that putting the V8 in a rear-wheel drive IS would have been dope because it would have went back to the heritage of the ISF. The ISF was so cool because it was out when there was the V8 M3, the V8 Mercedes naturally aspirated. So it was good for that day and age because it was good for that day and age, and it was track purpose. It was there. That's what worked so well because it's part of the time for that time. Those times are not now. So when they decided to make the IS500, I sat there and said, facepalm. You guys literally have a 400 plus horsepower, I believe, a V6 motor that you put in the Lexus LS500. Use the turbo motor. It was already on an all-wheel drive LS500. Make you guys are manufacturers, make it an all-wheel drive system because you saw how good the Q50 sold all-wheel drive twin turbo six. Acura is doing it, BMW is doing it, Mercedes doing it, everyone else is doing it, and they thought that this would bring so much more eyes to Lexus. It really didn't because as it's been about a year since the IS500's been out, and everyone who had went and got one, they got rid of it because it's like, all right, it's roll drive. I live somewhere where it snows. I don't need this. And to be honest with you, the IS 500 isn't really that special. Yes, is it one of the last V8 roll drives that we're gonna get? Possibly. Yes, I completely agree. One of the last ones that we're ever gonna get. But in all honesty, who's gonna really buy it? It's not a full ISF. It's a F Sport, so it's not that special. Period. I'm sorry. It's like for my Infinity guys, it's like you getting like a Q50 sport, not even sport, like a Q50 Lux or premium because you never really got the top RS model. You see what I'm saying? Like it's that's what they did with the IS500, and I hope that they Lexus possibly learned something from building this product and say, listen, man, maybe in a year or two, we'll put the V6 in the IS IS model, but knowing where EPA and all those fuel restrictions are going for the future, they may not consider it. But then maybe they will, because the V8 is gotta go. So maybe they'll go down to a 6-cylinder turbo. Hopefully not a 4-cylinder turbo, a 6-cylinder, and then that'll be the performance car. Because honestly, Lexus missed the mark by not putting that twin turbo motor in the IS. A lot of people would have bought it. In all honesty, too, let's keep it on task here. Let me see if I could go forward. The IS500 is a good looking car. Look at this car, guys. Come on, let's be quite honest, man. This is a good looking car. The front end looks really nice. The side profile, even though the front hood looks a little too long, it has good dimensions. I really like the dimensions of the car. The rear end, I'm not really so much of a fan of the light goes all the way across, but I'm okay with it because some of those edges are a little too sharp, because you know how they have the trunk come up with the little dimple here, like the trunk is raised a little bit. You can see that part. That's the only part that kind of stands out a little bit to me. But you know what? That's what makes it different, and that's what makes it stand out. So I'm like, all right, it makes the rear end look more like a sport coupe, and at the end of the day, I like it. It works for it, and it will what makes it stand out. But this car looks good. It looks good, and I'm just sad that they really missed the mark by not putting a twin turbo in this car. Twin turbo all-wheel drive. I think a lot of people would have went to Lexus. I think a lot of people, they would have made some good money, and we would have had Lexus reliability. Maybe they didn't want to take the chance. I don't know. But nonetheless, guys, Boost is signing out. I really appreciate you guys for tapping with me, man. I'm just giving my thoughts on it because it is what it is. You know, I don't work for Lexus. We don't work for Lexus, but sometimes we just sit there and think, yo, why did they do that? You know, why didn't they do that? So outside of that, guys, you can add me at Boost Motion on IG and Facebook. Also, you can email me at boostmotion@gmail.com. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. You guys have a good day. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel.